Hello! Normally I would be recording a video podcast right now, but today I feel like I need to address something else. I'm using sports as an example, but this just as easily applies to other school extracurricular programs. We just have numbers from sports to look at. If I've done this right, when you see this for the first time, you probably will not know me. Hopefully you're watching because someone who does know me has shared this with you. I'm a school board member and also the president of the local baseball and softball Little League. Today, I'm not speaking in either capacity. Today, I'm speaking as a father, a coach in my community, and as a longtime resident of the state of Michigan. Hopefully, I'm speaking to parents statewide who are struggling with the emotional and mental well-being of their kids. I often give people advice never to speak in public when they are angry or frustrated. Today, I'm going to break my own rule. I've been frustrated and angry for a while, and the recent announcement regarding the continued postponement of school sports has done nothing to make me believe that anger or frustration will subside anytime soon. I am in a place where I personally can no longer stay silent. Someone needs to say this out loud. The state of Michigan is prioritizing potential physical illness over actual mental health. As a state during the pandemic, we have put a premium in solving the potential threat to physical health that comes with COVID-19, while simultaneously actively creating a crisis in mental health. I fear that in our state, our communities and neighborhoods, or even in our own homes, we are staring at a ticking mental health time bomb and we are doing nothing about it. This affects those most vulnerable to mental stress and those that COVID affects the least, our kids. It's being done by making a very simple yet vital activity, school sports, unavailable to those who need what it brings to their lives the most. Stability, social interaction, normalcy. And it appears that it's being done needlessly. Not only have our student athletes proven, and let me say that again, proven that they can play sports and at the same time produce an infection rate that is significantly less than the general population. Isn't that what we should be talking about? Whether there's a safer activity than the activity not doing? Instead, we're talking about absolutes like safe and unsafe. If COVID had shown us anything, it's that it's omnipresent and indiscriminate. According to Dr. Fauci, we will likely never be able to completely eradicate it. So isn't it our mission to be safer in everything we do? Not just a blanket safe? To put it another way, is it safer to track temperatures, sequester for 10 to 12 hours a week, maintain supervised cleaning and sanitizing routines, and refrain from outside activities than it is to let the same kids go unmonitored and engaged in whatever other daily activities they choose? Even when you add in the physical activity risk, the answer is still yes. And that's not an opinion. That's been proven through a real-world trial. According to MLive, with over 4,000 athletes competing in the playoffs for fall sports, 99.6% tested negative. The MHSAA has reported that there were over 28,000 tests given with 57 positive results. 57 in 28,000. That's compelling. That's also statistically significant data. And the MHSAA isn't the only one saying this. It continues to be proven in Ohio, Indiana, and 41 other states where they are playing sports that we are not playing in Michigan. The only logic Michigan leadership can offer is that it's more dangerous to compete in sports than to sit at home and do nothing. No kidding. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out. The problem is there's an inherent flaw in that logic. Those aren't the only two choices. And kids aren't staying home. They go see friends. Sometimes they make uninformed choices. Sometimes they sneak. They do the things that kids do. And not to expect them to do these things is not, it's to say at the very least naive. There's a cause and effect when sports are in session. Kids just stay home when they aren't playing. Why? Because they don't want to let their team down. so that their team can continue to play. And that works, by the way. Again, there's proof of that. It was a requirement for swimming, volleyball, and football players during the playoffs to follow a set of rules, which included sequestering themselves whenever possible when they were away from their team activities. This was done. And again, it was 99.6% effective. But what happens when you cancel sports? Well, the answer is that the restraints come off. The first delay happened, families that would have stayed home for practice or games instead took vacations out of state. I literally watched it happen on social media. I also saw pictures of kids that would have otherwise been in the gym, maskless at their friend's house. They were not safer. They did not have additional controls in place. They were at higher risk. Other states have figured this out. Why can't we? Are you telling me that Ohio or Indiana hate their children? I don't buy it. Are we smarter than them? I used to enjoy joking with my friends from Ohio that we were smarter than them. Now it's just not funny. Do we know something they don't? Because if we don't have other information, we need to ask why other states are allowing their parents to make mental health related decisions for their own families, while Michigan families are not afforded the same choices. We should be given that answer. Instead, Michigan continues down a dangerous, and I would say negligent path. The state continues to not only exclude the mental health considerations from our most vulnerable, but it seems to be proactively tormenting them. There's a constant yo-yo effect of promising them that they will be able to play, then pulling the rug from beneath them just as they reach the date. This is done all in the name of a science that it fails to provide. But it's not like there isn't any science out there. There is some. A study by the University of Wisconsin showed depression was up nearly 70% in athletes. So I have to ask the question, why is the risk of COVID more scary to the state than the risk of suicide or clinical depression? The correct answer is that it shouldn't be. We actually should be scared of both, especially in our kids. And if we can't do a better job of finding the balance between the risk, we will be paying for this mistake for years and years in mental health bills and societal disruption. When you ask any of the hundreds of kids who have played for me over the years, they will tell you, probably while rolling their eyes, the number one rule in sports is don't turn one mistake into two. We've made a mistake, in my opinion, by letting the mental health aspect of this go unchecked for too long. We have the data that says we can safely move forward from that mistake. COVID is a killer, there's no doubt, but so is depression, and we need to balance them. And this is not just an opinion. This is what the experts are saying. And to those in Lansing, please open your eyes. For years, the state has been moving so many mental health responsibilities to the schools to deal with on their own. And now when the kids need those activities, the state is tying the schools' hands behind their backs and mentally beating the kids up right in front of them. It's time for this to stop. It's time to let them play. Thank you.